How is it going, Databytes? No Data here, and welcome back to another episode of Roblox Assassin. Today on Assassin, we are doing yet another top 10. It has been a very long time since I've done a top 10, so you know what? Why not make another one? And in this video, we are going to be doing the top 10 effects. Now, as you guys know, effects are basically, visual effects to change your knife in Assassin. Basically, it will be a nice little addition to your knife. So there will be something on your knife, and it will also change the way that you kill a person. So for example, you could turn somebody into gold, you can turn them into fire, and there are many different effects in Assassin. So in this video, we are going to count down the top 10 Roblox Assassin effects. So before we begin, let me just lay down some ground rules. First of all, keep in mind that this is my opinion. There's no value involved because effects don't have value because they're not tradable. But even if they did have value, I don't really think that would really change my opinion at all. So yeah, it is just my opinion, and it's based on looks, obviously, because it's the only thing you can really base it off of. And with that, there's really no other rules except that it can only be an effect that can be on every single knife. Alright, I can't just pick a dream knife because oh, it has an effect of its own, so that counts. No, that does not count. It has to be an effect that can be on every single knife. So yeah, if you guys are excited for this episode of Assassin, then be sure to drop a like on this video. It helps out a whole lot. Also guys, if you're new, be sure to subscribe because very soon we are going to do some more giveaways. I don't really know what giveaway I'm going to do yet, but there is going to be one in the near future, so be sure to subscribe so that you are notified about that. Anyway, without further ado, let us begin. At number 10, we have the Frozen Fire. So the Frozen Fire is pretty simple. It's basically like ice fire, which is pretty interesting. I guess that wasn't really a good description. Frozen Fire, ice fire is pretty much the same thing. But yeah, it is basically cold fire in a weird way. So basically the Frozen Fire was a bundle effect, and it was in the Blizzard bundle. I don't exactly remember the name of the bundle itself, but it had Blizzard in it, it had Ice Drake, and you could get the Frozen Fire as an effect. And basically, it would have some blue fire around the knife, and when you killed someone, it would completely freeze them solid. They would turn into complete ice, and then they'd be dead. Now, you can buy the freeze effect in the shop, and it is very similar. It does completely freeze a person. However, Frozen Fire just looks a little bit more better. I think with the freeze effect, you kind of get these weird sparkles, and they just don't look very good. Frozen Fire looks a lot more natural, and also it just looks better on the knife overall. I'd rather have those ice flames around the knife as compared to some weird icicles, because, I don't know, the freeze effect is kind of weird. Frozen Fire is basically just a better version of the freeze effect. At number 9, we have the Cursed effect. Now, this was a bundle in the Halloween 2018 event. You would get with Reaper Axe, so you would get the Reaper Axe, and there was also the Trio of Spiders, which, side note, that's a pretty good pet, and you would also get the Cursed effect. Now, the Cursed effect, I really like the way it looks around a knife. It's just nice, subtle purple lightning, I guess you can describe it like that. Just some nice purple sparks, and then when you kill someone, they turn completely purple. It's a little bit of a darker purple, which, I'm not really too fond of, but it is a nice purple kill effect. And then you have that same lightning around the person, so basically they're cursed, and then they die. I think it's a really cool effect overall, mainly because it's purple, because, purple is the best color. But, the thing looks pretty good overall. I think it's really good on knives like Onyx Tier. I think Onyx Tier in particular is a really good knife to put the Cursed effect on, because the Onyx Tier is a very dark purple, and, the Cursed effect is that same exact dark purple, so it works really well. You could use it on maybe Azure or something, if you want to do that, I don't know. And I guess you could put it on some other knives that are not purple, maybe like Nightmare, or, Bone Scythe or something like that. Use your imagination. I'm sure it's good. Bat Scythe, I think that might be a really good one to use. At number 8, we have the Darkness effect. This is one of the effects you can actually buy in the shop. I believe it is for 4,000 tokens, so it's not too expensive. You can just buy it in the shop and you will have it. And it is a very nice effect. So when you put this on a knife, around the knife, you'll have some little dark fire, I guess. I don't know how to really describe it. Basically, dark clouds surround the knife. And then when you kill someone, they turn completely black. Their body becomes a little transparent, and then they die. So it looks really cool. Basically, darkness surrounds the person, and then they are just dead. So I feel like it's really cool. And then those dark clouds still surround that person once they're dead. I think this effect looks really good on dark knives, for example, Nightmare, Lord Sinister, I think that's a really good example. Grim Scythe has an effect of its own, but the kill effect does make it pretty fitting for Grim Scythe. Darkblade is another good example, and that's a tier 1, so if you have Darkblade, Darkness is a really good effect. But the best knife to have with the Darkness effect is definitely Krampus. Krampus plus Darkness is a really good combination, so if you have Krampus, definitely get this effect. You know, it'll be definitely worth your money. At number 7, we have the Midus Touch. Now, this was the old effect that you would get from buying VIP before the summer update. After the summer update, you would get Crystal Blade and Crystal Skull and Crystallize. So you get the Crystallize effect now if you buy VIP. But before the summer update, if you bought VIP, you would get the Midus Touch as the effect. And this doesn't actually have an effect around the knife at all. It is only a kill effect. If you equip a knife and you equip the Midus Touch, the knife will not change at all. There's absolutely no change. However, if you kill somebody, they turn into solid gold. Now, I think that's really cool because, hey, you paid Robux for, you know, this nice little, you know, VIP bundle here. Why not turn people into solid gold to show how rich you are, you know? It's kind of a flex. I don't know. I feel like Crystallize is a good effect, but it doesn't have that same message. When you turn somebody into solid gold, it's like, this is how rich I am. I could literally turn you into gold with my knife. And yeah, this effect is pretty much fitting for any knife that is golden in any way. I think the best two are probably Gilded and Wind Elemental. I feel like those are the best knives to have if you want to use the Midus Touch. I feel like Seraph is also strangely fitting, even though it's not gold. I don't know, I just feel like Seraph is a really nice, elegant sword. And I think that would be very fitting for Midus Touch. But, you know, I could think of other effects that would be really fitting for Seraph. At number 6, we have the Hyper Shock. Now, this was from the Electricity bundle. So you would get Shock, you would get the Thundercloud. I don't know, I think it's called the Storm. But you would get this really cool Thundercloud. And then you would also get this really cool effect called Hyper Shock. And the Hyper Shock, when you equip it, it puts a bunch of electricity sparks around your knife and it looks super cool. You get a bunch of blue electricity around the knife. And then when you kill somebody with it, they literally turn into a skeleton. They get shocked and then they immediately turn into a skeleton. And then there's still a bit of electricity floating around the skeleton. So I think that's really cool. And this is another situation where there is an effect very similar to this in the shop. You can actually buy the Tesla effect in the shop, and it's pretty similar. You know, they'll turn into a skeleton, there'll be a little bit of electricity around it, but the electricity just doesn't look as good on Tesla, in my opinion. I feel like when you use Hypershock, the electricity is a lot more apparent, it's a lot more bright, it's a lot more vibrant, you can see it a lot more, whereas, you know, with Tesla, it's kind of just subtle, it's kind of there. But I feel like for something like Hypershock, it's a lot better to actually see the electricity. And yeah, I just like the blue electricity a lot more overall than, you know, the electricity in Tesla. But it is the same thing. Both of them turn your victim into a skeleton, which I think is really cool because, like, you're literally changing the package of the person. You're changing them from, like, a normal person to, like, the skeleton outfit in Roblox. And I think that's really cool. And now we have reached the top 5. At number 5, we have the Easter Surprise. Now this was the newest effect added into Assassin. It was added in the Easter 2019 update, and you would buy it for 300 eggs. And when you equip the effect on the knife, you know, on the knife, there's really not much to it. It's just a bunch of Easter eggs, you know, flashing on the knife. Really not much to say about that. But when you kill somebody, they literally turn into a pile of eggs, and then the eggs scatter all across the floor. Now, like I said in the Easter video, you know, Murder Mystery 2 sort of had that concept for a very, very long time. I think the pixels effect would literally turn people into, like, blocks, and then, you know, would scatter across the floor. But for Assassin, this is a pretty new concept. This is the only effect in Assassin that actually does that, where, you know, the body turns into a pile of items, and then the items scatter across the floor, so you don't even see the body anymore. So yeah, this effect is pretty unique to Assassin, so that is why it is on this list. At number 4, we have the Dragonfire. Now this is yet another bundle effect that you bought with the Slayer. I believe this was around the summer update, you know, the new summer lobby that nobody really liked. But yeah, that's beside the point. It was a really good bundle, and you also got a really cool effect with it. So when you equip the knife literally sets on fire. Like, it's not even like a fire effect. The knife itself literally sets on fire. So if you have any sort of fire knife, this effect looks absolutely amazing. Fire Elemental, Flame Mace, Dragon Breath. I can think of a bunch more. They are all super fitting for this effect. And then when you kill someone, their skin literally burns. You can literally see the 3rd degree burns on the person, and you can see that their body is set on fire. Even after the burns, their body is like still on fire, and that is extremely cool. That is definitely the best fire effect we have in Assassin. Sinister Flames is also a pretty good effect, but you know, I feel like it doesn't have that same exact fire effect. I feel like the Dragonfire is a lot more realistic and also just a lot more cool overall in terms of visual style. So yeah, the Dragonfire is number 4 on the list. At number 3, we have the Dual Wield. This is the most expensive effect that is currently in the shop. It is 6,000 tokens, and this is basically the opposite of Midus Touch. There is actually no kill effect to this effect. Basically, when you equip this effect, you will get 2 of the knife that you are currently equipped. So usually you hold the knife with your right hand. If you have this effect equipped, you will hold a copy of that knife in your left hand. It doesn't really help at all. You never throw the knife that is in your left hand. You kind of just hold it. You don't really use it for anything at all. It's kind of just there to make it a little bit cooler because you have 2 knives, which looks really cool. It is so cool to have like 2 Elegant Sabers, 2 Dreamwalkers, 2 Champion Axes, 2 Corrupted Axes, 2 Skeleton Kings. The list goes on and on. It just looks that much better to have 2 of the knife at the same exact time. The only problem with this effect is it has so many missed opportunities that a lot of people actually want in Assassin. For example, a lot of people want it so that you can equip 2 different knives at the same time. For example, like, let's say you want to have a Holiday Saber in one hand and then have Krampus in the other. Or maybe Corrupted Axe and Possessed Axe. It'd be really cool if you could hold 2 different knives while still just using one to fight and throw. But yeah, unfortunately you can only use 2 of the same knife, which can look cool, but if we could use different knives, I feel like it would just look a lot better overall. Also, a lot of people want effects to stack when it comes to dual wield. So, you know, let's say, you know, you want to have dual wield, so you want to have like 2 Krampuses, and then, you know, you can have dual wield equipped, and then you can also have darkness equipped, so you can have the kill effect of darkness while still having dual wield. That would be really cool, but that's also not implemented. You can only have 1 effect at a time, which is kind of unfortunate. So yeah, it is still a very nice concept overall. Very glad that it is in the game, but you know, it's not really unlocked at its full potential, you know what I mean? At number 2, we have the Purple Flames. This is the rarest effect in the entire game. You would actually get this by getting 1,000 competitive points during the July 2017 season. So yeah, it was a 1,000 competitive point prize, and it was almost 2 years ago. So Purple Flames is pretty rare. And yeah, you guys knew that there had to be a flames effect of some kind on this list, just because there's so many of them. There's red flames, blue flames, green flames, pink flames, rainbow flames. You know, there's so many flames in the game, but obviously I'm going to pick the purple flames because purple is the best color. So yeah, when you equip this effect, it kind of just puts a little bit of a fire trail around your knife. So when you walk around, the fire sort of stays behind a little bit and it sort of follows you. It's kind of weird to describe, but if you've ever had any flames effect, you know what I mean. And then when you kill someone, their head sets on fire of the corresponding color depending on the certain flames that you're using. Obviously, we're talking about purple flames in this situation. So, you know, their head would set purple fire. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, obviously I picked the purple flames because purple is the best color in the world, obviously. And I'm sure everybody saw this coming. At number 1, we have the magic effect. This was the first ever bundle effect because, you know, it was the first ever bundle, and you would get this in the magic bundle with Azure, Ghostly Knights, and then you would also get this glorious magic effect. Now, when you equip this effect, it's honestly a very weird visual effect around the knife. I don't really know how to describe it. It kind of just seems like purple ink drops. I don't really know what it is. It's kind of weird, but yeah, you'll have like purple rain around the knife, and then when you kill someone, they will turn completely purple. And the shade of purple that they turn is not exactly my shade of purple, but it's pretty freaking close. And yeah, you can literally just turn people purple. And I am purple, and purple is the best color. So obviously this is automatically the best effect in the game because I'm a purple man and I can just play the game and make everybody else purple. It's freaking amazing, dude. It is the best effect in the game. I pretty much use it by default. If I don't feel like using any other effect, I'm going to use the magic effect because it makes everybody purple and it is absolutely amazing. It almost seems like the effect was made for me, which I'm going to debunk that. It's definitely not true. All right. It was just a coincidence. But, yeah, I definitely thanked Prisman on Twitter for making the effect just because it is pretty much perfect for me. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video, guys. That was the top 10 effects. Let me know what your favorite effect is down in the comment below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Assassin. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and those other things that YouTube people do. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay purple.